Hello, I know this isn't one of my normal reviews, but this one is pretty special. Now, if you hear the AC in the background, it's because it's hot as balls outside and I don't want to fry. So, it's month of October, 1st of October, and I am going to take part in the second annual, or at least I'm assuming it's going to be annual, 22 Shots, 31 Days of Horror Challenge. Now, this is part 2. And last year, I was able to do every single movie that they had on there, including the bonuses, had all the criteria, watched a movie for every day of Halloween. This time, I'm going to step it up and do a video review every single video that I watch. Now, if you don't know anything about this, it's basically there's this list. I'll show it for you right here. It's the kind of movies you gotta watch during the month of October. Some of them you gotta get multiple watches of the same category, and others they're just bonuses. Some of them are pretty easy. Others are gonna be a bit more interesting to get a hold of, but you get the idea. This is my first movie, and this is Samson versus the Vampire Women from 1962. Wow. Going into this, I had such low expectations, and by God, I was happy with them. You have to understand, this is all about a Mexican luchador who is actually called Santo, but for some reason they changed his name to Samson for the American version. He is a protector of mankind, and he's fighting vampire women, and they're heavily muscled vampire men slaves. It's it's a trip. I can see why MST3K did this, but actually going into it, I thought I was in for what might be a bit of torture, because I didn't know what to really expect, except that it might be ridiculous. And it was. It was. With the castle and the professor who studies archaeology and has a direct radio to Samson. The fact that, well, I'm going to call him Santo. Santo, who's also a professional wrestler who is always wrestling, never takes off his mask, and apparently never takes off his wrestling uniform, including his cape. I kind of love that about this, is that it's completely absorbed in its own world. And it has its silliness, but I wasn't quite sure how to really think of this in the best terms. But then I kind of realized, this isn't just a horror film. This is a type of superhero film. And I didn't realize that going in. But when you really think about it, Santo has a secret identity that no one knows about. Everyone instantly recognizes him. How couldn't you? He has a over-the-top costume, but still is very fitting for him. And his villains are a good match for him, but also equally absurd in their own right. And it just plays off like this is a combination of Batman and maybe Bane. Not Bane, Blade. Batman and Blade in Mexico. And to be honest, the production value was not as bad as I was expecting. This is not Sci-Fi Channel quality, even for the 1960s compared to today. It's actually fairly good. Even the dubbing, though, it was pretty ridiculous. And I did watch the dubbed version, not the subtitled version, because I just thought, you know what, let's put all the cards on the table and just enjoy this for as ridiculous as it could possibly be. But really, I'm finding that it really took itself seriously. It wasn't acting like it was silly. It acted a lot more like This is just how it is. It acted like a superhero film, and I kind of respect that. I actually appreciate it more because of that, and I really did enjoy the film. It still has its problems. You're not gonna have this kind of concept come out as being perfect. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna happen. But the character of Santo, and actually the wrestler Santo, who was a real wrestler, had a very long career and was in about 40 movies. So he's had a long career of fighting in the ring and well, in front of the camera against all kinds of creatures. So this is definitely superhero territory, and I would actually love it if we got a reboot or a remake or something, like a series that is just Santo going around doing what he used to do, but something that American audiences could enjoy. Because I think we could really get behind that. We've got enough really interesting ideas that have been thrown out there, and there's been a lot of superhero stuff, but this isn't quite the normal superhero stuff, and it doesn't use the term superhero, so I like it for what it is. I give it a 7 out of 10, and as far as the criteria goes, I can now check off one of the 5 countries, because this was made in Mexico, one of the 4 first-time watches, and the black and white movie. Those have all gotten a check mark next to them. Don't know what I'm going to watch tomorrow, and there are going to be times when I can't get a video out the same day that I watch the movie because I'm going to be working a haunted house this year, and I'm going to be very busy. That is why I haven't been making reviews lately or any kind of video, just because I have been working to get that haunted house up and running. So I will see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed. Please watch this film in whatever version you choose. And have a great night.